All praises to Ahaya, Ashur, Ahaya, Bahashem, Yeshaya, Ruach. This is Shabar, Israel, and today I will be sharing with you a prophecy that I received concerning the Son of Man. The Most High has shown me various topics of prophecy in the last 3 months, and I had to make sure certain things that He wanted me to share. But He recently visited me, and here I am. I was praying and talking to the Most High about certain things in my life. And I kind of, like Job, had spoke without a little bit of wisdom. And as I began to slumber on my bed, I was awakened by loud thunder. And when I looked up to the east, I saw what you would call blue lightning come through my window. I said, okay, all right. Okay, Most High, I'm not going to burden you any longer with this issue. And about 2 hours later, I was awakened again and blue lightning came through the west. And he uttered his voice. And that was the end of that. I got the message clearly. And that brings me to this short prophecy / lesson that he gave me. I'll be reading from Matthew, the 24th chapter. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcase is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Here we have the sign of his return, and he's comparing it to lightning that cometh out of the east and shineth unto the west on the return of his coming. And this is exactly what I saw. And then it tells us, wheresoever the carcass or the dead body, there will the eagles be gathered together. And we know that the eagle, according to the book of Obadiah, is synonymous with Edom. And it tells us in the book of Ezra that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is what followeth behind it. And I'm paraphrasing here. A lot of you are familiar with certain scriptures. We have a signal, if you will, of the return of the Messiah and the dead bodies of Edom. And how can this happen? Through warfare, plagues, and destruction. Move down to the 32nd verse. And I've been studying, I've been asking for wisdom, instruction, and understanding concerning this verse. And this verse reads, now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. And I know there is a lot of controversy about that generation being the generation of that time, which is correct, but it also refers until the generation all the way up to this generation, because he stated right after that verse, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away, letting you know that it applies to generation after generation. Now, the issue I was having here is when I was reading, he states that ye know that summer is not. And also, many relate this to the fact of 70 AD, the siege of Jerusalem, which is correct as well. You go to simply just Wikipedia and study around, it tells you that the siege of Jerusalem was in the year 70, okay? And it tells you that the city of Jerusalem had been occupied by Jewish defenders in 66. We know these are Hebrews, no such word as Jewish. Look at the time frame, about 3 years in total that was in the making of the siege of Jerusalem. And this brings me to my point and the wisdom that I received concerning the Son of Man. We know that you have spring, summer, fall, and winter. As I stated, I was concerned about this. Why would the Messiah give the term summer is nigh? Well, this is the wisdom that I received. Each period has a time frame of about 3 months. And in our modern day and time, this talking about the 3 years that we have left in this captivity of the daughter of Babylon. Because we know that the earth abided forever, so there is always going to be seasons. So the Messiah is telling us that what is near? If you do the breakdown of that word summer, it means. It's G2330 from a primary word, theros. It means to heat, to properly heat. That is summer. Now, what kind of heat is the Messiah talking about in this generation? He's talking about war, fuel of fire, as it states in the book of Isaiah. The missiles are coming, and lately he's been showing me several dreams concerning missiles that are coming to the daughter of Babylon. So the war is not. The heat is on, as they like to say, within these last 3 years. If you have been watching my prophecies, they are exactly on point. And a lot of people like to say that, which is correct, that I'm a prophetess, but they're often calling people like me poetress or poetic. We will see if these missiles are poetic. We'll see if this heat is poetic that's coming. You have to have the spirit to understand the Most High. The way he simply gives some of his vision to his servants, the prophets and prophetess, is sometimes they can be poetic. I prophesy in part and you know in part. We don't know everything. That's why some of it is poetic. These missiles will not be poetic. The Bible states that there is nothing new under the sun. What happened within the last 3 years concerning the siege of Jerusalem, the Most High is going to allow it to happen here again in the daughter of Babylon and across the entire earth to purge the world of its wickedness and release the sons and daughters of Israel. The Bible also states that it would be signs in the heaven and in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. And this blue lightning is a signal to a certain degree of his return. And if you do the research on blue light itself, it can often cause damage to the retina, which is the eye. Is very powerful, and hence no wonder that they use the all-seeing eye for their agenda. And we are talking about those that live in darkness. Furthermore, it even goes into the point to say that blue light has a dark side, and you can research that on your own. And you have the term Project Bluebeam. It's very interesting when you see the clues there that they are putting right in front of you. I think that was a very secular piece of information that one could look into as in biblical prophecy. And just to add a little bit more information to it, the so-called, I believe, Hopi prophecy of the blue star returning or something like that in the sky 2012. But I have empirical evidence by the Most High and his Son himself to signify that he is on his way. So in conclusion to this prophecy and presentation is that we have a signal of the Messiah, and it is a twofold scenario. The lightning that shineth from east to the west signifies his coming, and what also can light up the sky in this modern day and time is the flying stars, as in Ezra, the 15th chapter tells us, men's heart failing them from fear and from looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now that is Luke 21, 26, and 27. That day, what good is it for you, those who are trespassing against the Most High commandment? To the Hebrew first, and to the Gentiles, and to the children of light. The 28th verse states, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your head, for your redemption draweth nigh. And we also know there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. I have posted several videos concerning that issue recently. We know that the siege of Jerusalem gives us roughly a time frame where we are in now, as the desolation appears to be unfolding upon the Hebrew first, because judgment starts at the Most High's house first, according to Peter 4 and 12, because the Bible states that there's a kingdom coming and there have to be servants. So no one is exempt. There is no exception to the rule. I will be posting more videos concerning these last days as I begin to come to a close. And as for many of you, you will soon see the glory of the Most High and his Son as he sets his children free. And also he has showed me a vision once again about the isles and how the people are going to be returned to him, as it states in Isaiah Isaiah, the 11th chapter. Last but not least, I will not forget when the Most High was visiting me with his sign or signal, I could feel his presence. I could feel his presence on the east, in the west, in the south. For one thing, he wasn't there in the north. And that's because he said, I will go out before you when we leave this place. I have seen and I will be sharing with you as the time is at hand. Seal not the sayings of this prophecy. The time is at hand. Those who have an ear, let them hear. And as always, Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And those that refuse to take part in the tree of life, and to drink the fountains of living water, let him be unjust still. And the bride said, Come, Yeshua, thy kingdom come. Amen.